Hello, and welcome to another calm and sleepy story, designed to help you drift off into a peaceful slumber. If you haven't yet, please take a moment to subscribe, so you don't miss our future tales. Now, find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and let your mind wander to a place far away. In a distant corner of the old American countryside, there once was a town called Willowmere. It wasn't a famous town. It wasn't a busy town. In fact, most maps had forgotten to even include it. But the people who lived there didn't mind that at all. They liked how quiet things were. The air in Willowmere always smelled faintly of rain and hay. The wooden houses stood in long, neat rows, each with faded paint that peeled just a little more with the passing of each summer. Every morning the same familiar sounds would echo gently across the empty streets, the soft creak of the post office door followed by the slow rhythmic shuffle of Mr. Turner the mailman, as he delivered letters that rarely brought any news of change. At the edge of the town stood a clock tower. Its hands had been frozen since 1957, yet nobody ever thought to fix it. The townspeople would say there was no need to know the time. They preferred to watch the sun and live their lives slowly, very, very slowly. There was only one small store in Willowmere, called Harris & Sons General Goods. The sign hanging outside was older than most of the customers who walked beneath it. Inside, the shelves were lined with the same jars of buttons, candles, and dust-covered notebooks that had probably been there for decades. The wooden floor creaked in a familiar rhythm, like an old forgotten song that no one remembered the words to. Mrs. Harris, who ran the store, always greeted everyone with the same gentle smile. "Morning," she'd say, even if it was nearly sunset. And nobody ever corrected her, because time didn't seem to matter much in Willowmere. Every evening, as the sun began to fade, a golden light would wash over the town. The air would become still, and the only sound was the wind moving softly through the tall grass behind the houses. The few children who lived there would draw slow, lazy circles in the dirt with sticks. The old folks would sit on their porches, rocking back and forth in comfortable silence. And then, as if it were planned, the same quiet conversations would begin to drift through the twilight air. Someone might mention how the river used to be higher in the old days. Someone else would talk about the time when the trains used to pass by, their whistles echoing through the valley. But nobody ever finished their stories. They would just trail off into soft hums and contented sighs, letting the memories hang in the air like morning mist. There was an old bridge just outside the town, half broken but still standing firm against the years. People said that if you stood there at night, when everything was still, you could hear the sound of the water whispering old secrets. No one knew what those secrets were. Maybe the river was just talking to itself, remembering the days when the town was new and full of noise, before it settled into its long, peaceful sleep. On one especially calm night, the moon rose huge and silver over the silent hills. The wind was cool and carried the scent of damp earth. The sound of crickets filled the air, a soft, chirping lullaby that seemed to rise from the very ground itself. The lights in every home glowed with a faint yellow warmth, and then, one by one, they went dark as the people of Willowmere drifted off to sleep. Mr. Turner, the mailman, placed the last letter of the day into a box that hadn't been opened in years. He looked up at the broken clock tower, its dark silhouette stark against the moonlit sky. A faint smile touched his lips, and he turned and walked home under the sleepy, silvery glow of the moon. And that was how every day in Willowmere ended, not with noise or with change, but with the same peaceful, predictable rhythm that had lasted for generations. If you were to ever visit, you might not find much to do. But that, you see, is the quiet charm of Willowmere. It's a place where nothing ever seems to happen, and somehow, that's exactly what makes it so beautiful. The crickets will sing you to sleep. The breeze will brush gently through the tall grass. And the silence, that soft, endless silence, will remind you that sometimes the most peaceful stories are the ones where nothing ever changes. And now, as the story of Willowmere fades away, allow yourself to drift along with it. Let the quiet rhythm of the town become the rhythm of your own breath. Inhale peace, and exhale the day. There is nothing left for you to do now but rest. Sleep well,